I believe it's important to remember that life will always consist of a negative, whether it's something you wish you could control or that you wish you could leave behind. It's true that life will always consist of a negative, and it's more of the fact that, like, how can we really work on that? How can we fix that? How can we perceive this, or how can we conceive it? Like, how can we understand what we can do about this negative in our life? And it's something that I wish a lot of people would know, that always continue with a negative in your life, whether you want it to happen or you wish that you could stop it or interfere with the timeline and be more of like, I don't want there to be a negative in my life, and wish that it was always positive. Which, I guess I'm not saying that life will never always be positive. I'm just saying there will always be a negative to a positive. I wish some more people would look at life in a more perspective of thinking, oh, well, I really do wish life would be, all peaceful and very knowledgeable about everyone else's surroundings. And I guess I'm not saying that isn't fully true, that some people don't understand around other people's surroundings, and maybe they do, and maybe they still choose to do those negative things. However, I am saying that there will always be a negative, whether you're the negative to somebody else's perspective or somebody else is the negative to your own perspective. It's inevitable. It's always going to happen. There will always be a negative in life. Whether we wish that we could be always positive, it's just not how life will turn out and how it will be out to be. It will always consist of a negative. Maybe not as many negatives as you want it to have. And there is, don't get me wrong, there is a way to reduce these negatives in life and uphold a more positive lifestyle and more wellness. However, it's just, there will be negative in your life. And I'm sorry to the people that wish that it will. I'm a realist, and if I'm going to be real with everybody, there will always be a negative. And I feel like we should all be able to understand that. With our own life experiences and with our future life experiences, we'll probably always experience a negative in our life. And it's inevitable, whether we like it or not. And I wish that life would be more positive. That's the ideal goal, right? That life will be entirely positive. And it's a sad awakening that it won't be. There will always be a negative. And when we talk about it, it seems that a lot of people kind of blindside themselves by them, and they kind of wish that there wasn't a negative. However, I kind of take in that negative and try to find my way to flip it into a positive. If that's the best way that you can cope with a negative in your life, that is the best way to do it, in my opinion. And if there is a way that you can turn a negative into a positive, that's even better. That's an even better life that you could have than somebody else who could not do that, who could not change a negative in their own life into a positive. There are a lot of people who get stuck like that. There are a lot of people who sadly end their lives to this. It's a terrible being that there will be a negative in life, and it's something we can never change. And I guess it's more of a moment of realization for a lot of people. It's a moment of realization that life can be positive. You can have a very positive life. But there will always be experiences of a negative. And maybe that's an okay thing. Maybe I think we should all believe that that's an okay thing. Because the amount of negatives that turn into an even more better positive, and the more positives we will have in life than the negatives, is amazing. And I wish more people would take that into account, that we can change that, and we can have a positive life. If there's a way, then there definitely is. There definitely is. I want everybody to remember that within your own life, and within maybe your even own family member's life, everybody has experienced one of the worst times in their life. Whether it's now, whether it was later, or maybe it will be in the future. Everybody has had one of the worst moments in their life that they'll never be able to get back. However, I want you to take this with you. that you can change that negative into a more positive life. And then you can learn from that experience or those past events that you can continue to grow within those. Because there is motivation within everything. There is motivation within everything. And if you can nurture and grow that motivation for yourself and your personal well-being, that's a better life than many people will ever have. And that's what I want you to take with you.